When nature fights back, terrifying and unexplained natural phenomena. We like to think we have this world all figured out. We build cities of concrete and steel, we map the oceans, and we predict the weather with satellites in space. We feel safe in our little boxes, our homes, thinking we have tamed the wild world around us. But every now and then, the planet reminds us that we are just guests here. It shows us things that defy our science, things that are powerful, terrifying, and completely unexplained. Nature has a dark side, a mysterious side, and tonight we are going to look directly into it. Before we begin, I have a simple question for you. What is the most powerful force of nature in your opinion? Is it a hurricane, an earthquake, a volcano, or something else entirely? Let me know your answer in the comments below, and while you're down there, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming. Let's start with something that sounds like it was ripped from a science fiction story. It's called ball lightning. Now, we've all seen regular lightning. A flash of light, a crack of thunder, and it's over. It's scary, but we understand it. It's electricity in the sky. Ball lightning is different. It's a complete mystery. Imagine you're sitting in your living room during a thunderstorm. It's raining hard outside, the wind is howling. Suddenly, a glowing sphere of light, maybe the size of a basketball, just floats through your window. It doesn't break the glass, it just passes right through it, like a ghost. This ball of light hovers in the middle of your room for a few seconds, maybe a full minute. It might be silent, or it might make a faint hissing or crackling sound. It might be white or orange or blue. It moves slowly, drifting through the air as if it has a mind of its own. It might drift down your hallway, investigate your kitchen, and then, as suddenly as it appeared, it vanishes. Sometimes it fades away silently. Other times it explodes with a loud bang, leaving behind the smell of sulfur like a burnt match. People have been reporting these things for centuries. Pilots have seen them in the cockpits of their planes, floating right in front of them at 30,000 feet. People have seen them come down their chimneys. There are stories of these balls of light chasing people or hovering over their beds while they sleep. For a long time, scientists just said people were imagining things. They said it was just an after-image from a bright lightning strike, something burned into your eyes. But the stories are too numerous, too consistent, from too many reliable people all over the world. There's no way they are all making it up. So what could it be? There are a lot of theories, but none of them really stick. One idea is that when lightning strikes the ground, it vaporizes silicon from the dirt. This hot ball of silicon gas then floats in the air, glowing as it cools down. That sort of makes sense, but it doesn't explain how these things can pass through solid walls and glass windows. How can a ball of hot gas just ignore the laws of physics? Another idea is that it's a type of plasma, a superheated gas, held together by its own magnetic field. But we can't create something like that in a lab that lasts for more than a split second. These things can last for minutes. The truly terrifying part is the unpredictability. We don't know what they are, where they come from, or what they can do. Most reports say they are harmless, just strange and spooky, but some stories are darker. There are accounts of ball lightning causing fires, or even killing livestock. What if one of these things wasn't harmless? What if it floated into your home and decided not to just fade away? It's a piece of the storm that has come alive, a little piece of raw, untamed nature, floating through your house, and you have no idea what it wants or what it will do next. It's a reminder that even the air around us can hold secrets we can't possibly comprehend, and there is absolutely nothing you can do but watch and wait for it to disappear, hoping it doesn't take you with it. From the sky, let's go deep into the earth. In the middle of a vast, empty desert in Turkmenistan, there is a hole in the ground that has been on fire for over 50 years. The locals call it the door to hell, and when you see it, you understand why. It is a giant crater over 200 feet wide and almost 100 feet deep, and the entire thing is a raging inferno. Flames leap up from hundreds of different holes in the ground, a pit of endless fire that roars day and night. This isn't a natural volcano. This hellscape was created by humans, but it has been taken over by nature in the most terrifying way. Back in the early 1970s, a group of engineers were drilling for natural gas. The ground beneath their heavy rig was not stable. It was just a thin crust over a massive underground cavern filled with poisonous gas. The ground collapsed, swallowing the entire drilling rig and all their equipment. Thankfully, no one was killed in the collapse. But now they had a new problem. A huge crater was spewing deadly methane gas into the air. This gas could poison all the local towns and kill wildlife for miles around. They had to get rid of it. So they came up with a simple idea: they would light it on fire. They thought the gas would burn off in a few weeks and the problem would be solved. So they threw something into the crater to ignite it, and it exploded into a giant fireball. The thing is, they miscalculated. They had no idea just how much gas was down there. The fire didn't burn out in a few weeks, it didn't burn out in a few months. It has been burning continuously ever since, for 5 decades. Standing at the edge of the door to hell is an experience that changes you. The heat is so intense you can only stand it for a few minutes. It feels like standing in front of an open oven the size of a football field. And the sound is a constant, deafening roar. It's the sound of millions of cubic feet of gas being consumed by fire every single hour. At night, the crater glows so brightly it can be seen from miles and miles away, a single, angry red eye in the blackness of the desert. What's even creepier is that this man-made disaster has created its own little ecosystem. Thousands of spiders and other insects are drawn to the light and the heat, and they swarm the edges of the crater. It's like a scene from a horror movie, a burning pit to hell surrounded by an army of spiders. The door to hell is a perfect example of nature fighting back. We poked a hole in the earth, and the earth responded with fire, a fire we cannot put out. It serves as a permanent burning monument to our own arrogance. We thought we could control it, tame it, and use it. Instead, we just opened a wound on the planet's surface, and that wound has been festering and burning for half a century. We don't know how much longer it will burn. The supply of gas seems to be almost limitless. It could burn for another 100 years, or 1,000. A permanent, roaring gateway to an underworld of our own making. Now let's talk about something you can't see, but can be just as terrifying. It's a phenomenon known simply as the hum. Imagine you're lying in bed trying to sleep. The house is quiet, the street is quiet, but you hear something, a low, droning, vibrating sound. It's like the sound of a big diesel truck idling just outside your house. You get up and look out the window, but there's nothing there. The street is empty. You try to ignore it, but you can't. The sound is always there. It's a low-frequency hum that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. It gets inside your head. You can feel it in your bones, in your teeth. You put in earplugs, but it doesn't help. You can still hear it, or maybe feel it. It's a form of torture. It causes headaches, dizziness, nausea, and worst of all, an inability to sleep. Night after night, you are tormented by this invisible sound. The truly maddening part? Nobody else can hear it. You tell your family, your friends, your doctor. They all think you're going crazy. They sit in your room, in perfect silence, while you are being driven mad by this relentless noise. Only a small percentage of the population in certain areas can hear the hum. These people are known as hearers or hummers. This isn't just one person's delusion. This is a global phenomenon. It has been reported in places all over the world. There's the Taos hum in New Mexico, the Windsor hum in Canada, the Bristol hum in England. In each of these places, a small part of the population is plagued by the exact same mysterious sound. They have formed support groups. They have demanded that the government investigate, and investigations have happened. Scientists have come with sensitive microphones and recording equipment, but they find nothing. The sound doesn't seem to register on their instruments. So what is it? Nobody knows for sure. The theories are all over the place. Some think it's industrial noise from factories or large fans, but the hum is often heard in rural areas far from any industry. Some think it's the sound of high-pressure gas lines or power lines or wireless communication towers, but all of these have been investigated and ruled out. Some more fringe theories suggest it's a secret military experiment, perhaps related to long-range communication with submarines. A more disturbing theory is that the sound is natural, that it's a product of the Earth itself. Some think it could be caused by tiny earthquakes, microseisms, the sound of the planet's tectonic plates grinding together far below our feet. For some reason, only certain people are sensitive enough to perceive this deep vibration from the planet. If this is true, It's terrifying. It means the planet we live on is making a sound, a constant low groan, and a few unlucky people are tuned to its frequency. There is no escape. You can't move away from it because it's the planet itself. You are living on top of the thing that is torturing you. The hum is a constant reminder of the huge, powerful, and unseen forces at work just beneath our feet, a sound that can literally drive a person to the brink of insanity. From a sound you can't escape, let's travel to a place where you can see lights that shouldn't exist. High up in a remote, isolated valley in Norway, a strange and beautiful and terrifying light show takes place. This is the Hessdalen Valley, home to the Hessdalen Lights. For decades, strange, unexplained lights have appeared in the sky and on the ground here. They are not stars. They are not planes. They are not man-made. They are something else. The lights come in many shapes and sizes. Sometimes they are bright white or yellow balls of light that hang motionless in the sky for hours. Other times, they are red or blue flashes that dart across the valley at incredible speeds, faster than any known aircraft. They can be as large as a car or as small as a fist. They sometimes float slowly down the valley, following the contours of the land. They have been seen hovering just above the treetops, or even landing on the ground or on the surface of the frozen lake. The people who live in the valley have been seeing these lights for generations. They are just a part of life there, a strange and mysterious neighbor. But in the early 1980s, the activity increased dramatically. There were sometimes 20 sightings a week. This brought scientists and researchers from all over the world to this remote valley. They set up cameras, radar, and all sorts of scientific equipment to try and figure out what was going on. They have been studying the lights for 40 years now, and they are still baffled. They have managed to capture the lights on camera. They have tracked them on radar. They know the lights are real physical objects. They are not just swamp gas or tricks of the light. The radar data shows them moving at speeds of thousands of miles per hour, and then stopping instantly. They can perform maneuvers that would be impossible for any man-made craft. They sometimes appear on radar but are invisible to the naked eye. Other times they are clearly visible but don't show up on radar at all. So what are they? The scientific theories are complex. One idea is that the valley itself acts as a giant natural battery. The rocks on one side of the valley are rich in copper, and the rocks on the other side are rich in iron and zinc. The river that runs through the valley is full of sulfur, which can create a kind of acid. This combination could potentially create electrical energy, which could then ionize the air and create these balls of plasma or light. It's a fascinating theory, but it doesn't explain the intelligent movement. It doesn't explain how the lights seem to react to the people watching them. There are many reports of the lights seeming to be curious, approaching observers or flashing their lights in response to people flashing flashlights at them. The mystery of the Hessdalen Lights is deep. It's a place where the rules of our world seem to be bent. It's a natural phenomenon that behaves with an intelligence that we can't explain. Are these lights a geological process we don't yet understand? Or are they something else entirely? To be in that valley at night, surrounded by darkness and silence, and to see a silent glowing orb rise up from behind a mountain and drift towards you, would be a profoundly unsettling experience. It's a place where you are forced to accept that there are things in this world that are far beyond our understanding. You feel small. You feel like you are being watched by something ancient and intelligent, something that nature has hidden away in a forgotten valley in Norway. Let's leave the land and venture out into the vast, dark expanse of the ocean. The ocean is the last true wilderness on our planet. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the bottom of our own seas. And in these dark, crushing depths, strange things happen. One of the most bizarre and visually stunning is a phenomenon known as the Milky Sea. Imagine you are a sailor on a cargo ship in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It's a moonless night. The sky is black and the water is black. There is nothing but darkness for hundreds of miles in every direction. Then you start to notice something strange. The horizon begins to glow with a faint white light. As you sail forward, the glow gets brighter and brighter until your entire world has changed. The ocean, as far as the eye can see, is glowing. It's not the familiar sparkle of bioluminescent algae that churns in the wake of a boat. This is different. The entire surface of the sea is emitting a steady, uniform, milky white light. It's like you are sailing over a field of snow or through the clouds. The line between the sea and the sky disappears. There is no horizon. It's an endless expanse of eerie white light. The glow is bright enough to read a book by. It's completely silent. There is no explanation. You are in the middle of a glowing sea that stretches for thousands of square miles. The effect can last for hours, even days. This is not a myth or a sailor's tale. Milky Seas have been documented for centuries. They are even mentioned in the book Moby Dick. But they are incredibly rare and happen in remote parts of the ocean, so they have been very difficult to study. For a long time, no one had any proof they were real, other than the logs from ships that had passed through them. But then, in 1995, a satellite captured the first ever image of a Milky Sea. Off the coast of Somalia, there was a massive patch of glowing ocean. It was over 15,000 square kilometers. That's the size of the state of Connecticut. For the first time, we had proof. This thing was real, and it was enormous. So what causes it? The best theory we have is that it's a massive bloom of a specific type of bioluminescent bacteria. These aren't the normal algae that light up when they are disturbed. These bacteria glow continuously, all on their own. For a Milky Sea to happen, you would need a truly mind-boggling number of these bacteria. Trillions and trillions of them, all gathered in one place, all glowing in unison. Scientists don't know what would cause such a massive synchronized bloom. They don't know why it only happens in certain parts of the world, like the Indian Ocean. The experience of being in a Milky Sea must be profoundly unsettling. The ocean is supposed to be dark and deep and mysterious. To have it suddenly light up from within, to have the darkness replaced by this strange, unnatural glow, would feel like you have entered another dimension. It's beautiful, but it's also deeply creepy. What is going on in the water beneath you to cause this? What kind of massive biological event is taking place? It's another reminder that the ocean is an alien world, and it operates by rules we are only just beginning to understand. It can transform itself into something utterly unrecognizable, a silent, glowing wasteland that defies all expectations. Not all of nature's strange phenomena are quiet and mysterious. Some are loud, violent, and incredibly destructive. Let's talk about something called a firenado or a firewhirl. It is exactly what it sounds like. A tornado made of fire. It is one of the most terrifying and destructive things that nature can create. It combines two of our most primal fears: the unstoppable power of a tornado and the consuming hunger of a wildfire. Firenados are not like the tornadoes that form in thunderstorms. They are born from heat. They usually happen during massive wildfires or bushfires. When a fire is incredibly hot and the wind conditions are just right, something terrifying happens. The intense heat from the fire rises, and if there are strong swirling winds, they can grab that column of rising hot air and start to spin it. As it spins, it gets tighter and faster, just like an ice skater pulling in their arms. It sucks in flammable gases from the fire embers and burning debris. The result is a vertical, spinning vortex of flame that can be hundreds or even thousands of feet tall. A firenado is a true monster. It has its own weather system. The winds inside can spin at over 100 miles per hour. They are strong enough to rip trees out of the ground by their roots and throw them through the air. And because it's made of fire, everything it touches is instantly incinerated. The temperatures inside can reach 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt steel. They move across the landscape with a terrifying roar, a combination of the sound of a jet engine and a raging bonfire. They can move much faster than a person can run. If you are a firefighter on the ground when one of these forms, there is almost nothing you can do. Your only option is to try and get out of its path. They can change direction in an instant. They can leap over fire breaks. They are completely unpredictable. One of the most infamous firenado events happened in Canberra, Australia, in 2003. During a massive bushfire, a firenado formed that was nearly 500 meters wide at its base. It was a true behemoth. The winds were estimated at over 160 miles per hour. It tore through a pine forest, ripping up thousands of trees. Then it moved into the suburbs of the city, where it destroyed over 400 homes in a matter of minutes. People who survived it described a sound they will never forget, a demonic roar that shook the very ground. What's so scary about firenados is that they show how forces of nature can combine to create something far worse than the sum of their parts. A fire is bad. A tornado is bad. But when they merge, you get a new level of horror. It is nature at its most apocalyptic. It's a vision straight out of hell, a spinning column of destruction that erases everything in its path. And with climate change leading to hotter and drier conditions, the types of massive wildfires that create these monsters are becoming more and more common. The Firenado is a terrifying preview of what a hotter, more violent world might look like. From fire, we go to ice. Deep beneath the surface of the polar oceans, a bizarre and deadly phenomenon takes place. It's called a brinicle, but it has a much more sinister nickname, the icy finger of death. A brinicle is essentially an underwater icicle. But unlike the icicles that hang from your roof, this one grows downwards from the sea ice on the surface, reaching for the ocean floor. And everything it touches freezes solid, instantly. Here's how it works. In the Arctic and Antarctic, the air temperature can be brutally cold, maybe -40 degrees. This freezes the ocean water on the surface, but when salt water freezes, it does something strange. The ice it forms is pure freshwater ice. The salt gets pushed out, and it forms a super salty, super cold liquid called brine. This brine is much denser and much colder than the surrounding seawater. Its freezing point is far below the normal freezing point of water. This super cold brine is trapped in little pockets within the sea ice. If a crack forms in the ice, this heavy brine begins to leak out and sink towards the seafloor. As this plume of super cold brine sinks, it freezes the relatively warmer seawater it comes into contact with. This creates a hollow tube of ice around the sinking plume of brine. This tube of ice grows downwards like a stalactite made of ice. This is the brinicle. Watching a time-lapse video of a brinicle forming is like watching an alien creature descend from above. It is a slow, relentless process. The icy finger grows and grows, reaching down into the dark water. When it finally touches the seafloor, the horror begins for the creatures living there. The brine, which is still flowing down through the hollow center of the brinicle, spreads out across the ocean floor. Because it is so cold, it instantly freezes any slow-moving bottom dwellers in its path. Starfish, sea urchins, and sea cucumbers are frozen solid where they sit. They have no way to escape. A web of ice spreads out from the base of the brinicle, a creeping, unstoppable tide of death. The brinicle is a perfect, deadly trap. It shows how in the most extreme environments on Earth, the laws of physics can create things that are both beautiful and absolutely lethal. It's a silent, slow-motion killer. The creatures on the seafloor have no idea it's coming until it's too late. It's a stark reminder that even in the deepest, most remote parts of our world, nature has found incredibly creative and terrifying ways to deal death. The icy finger of death is a force of nature that kills not with fire or wind, but with a simple, silent, and inescapable touch of cold. Let's end with one more auditory mystery, a sound that is loud, sudden, and completely baffling. They are called skyquakes. Imagine you are outside on a perfectly clear day. There are no clouds in the sky. There is no wind. It's completely quiet. And then you hear it, a massive boom. It sounds like a huge explosion or a sonic boom from a jet. It's loud enough to rattle your windows and shake your house. You look up, expecting to see a plane, but the sky is empty. There is nothing there. The sound came from nowhere. This is the experience of a skyquake. They are also known as Seneca guns, a name that comes from an area around Seneca Lake in New York where they are frequently heard. But they happen all over the world, especially in coastal areas. People have been reporting them for hundreds of years. They describe the sound as being like cannon fire or distant thunder from a clear sky. The mystery is, what is causing them? There are plenty of theories, but just like with the hum, none of them fully explain the phenomenon. One of the most popular theories is that they are caused by military aircraft. A supersonic jet flying offshore could create a sonic boom that travels a long way over the water and is heard on land. The atmospheric conditions could be just right to focus the sound in one area, making it seem much louder than it should be. This makes sense for some cases, but not all of them. Skyquakes were being reported long before supersonic jets were invented. Another theory is that they are natural. Perhaps they are caused by meteors exploding high up in the atmosphere. These would be too small and too high to see, but they could create a powerful shockwave that we hear on the ground. This is possible, but it doesn't explain why skyquakes seem to happen repeatedly in the same specific locations. A more geological explanation is that they are caused by the release of gas from the Earth. Gas trapped under pressure deep underground could suddenly be released, creating a loud boom as it escapes. This could be related to fault lines and tectonic activity. Some people think skyquakes are a precursor to earthquakes, a warning shot from the ground itself. There is also the idea that they are caused by massive waves out at sea crashing together, or by underwater landslides on the continental shelf. The sound could then travel through the water and the ground and be released into the air on the coast. Whatever the cause, the experience is deeply unsettling. An explosion is a sound of violence, of danger. Our brains are hardwired to react to it, to find the source of the threat. With a skyquake, there is no source. There is only the sound itself, a phantom explosion that happens for no reason. It's a violation of our expectations. A clear, peaceful day should not contain the sound of a cannon. It leaves you feeling vulnerable and confused. It's a reminder that there are powerful events happening all around us, in the sky above and in the earth below, that we are completely unaware of. The world is a noisy, violent place, and sometimes we just happen to hear the echo. From glowing balls of lightning to burning pits in the desert, from maddening sounds to impossible lights in the sky, our planet is full of mysteries. We live on a thin, fragile crust, floating on a sea of molten rock, surrounded by a vast and empty space. We think our science and technology make us safe, but these phenomena show us that's an illusion. Nature is wild, powerful, and far stranger than we can possibly imagine. It doesn't follow our rules. It has secrets that it keeps in the deepest oceans and the highest skies, and every now and then it gives us a terrifying glimpse of what it's truly capable of. These events are not monsters or ghosts. They are something much scarier. They are real, and they are a part of the world we all share. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unexplained. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more dives into the darkness. Until next time, stay safe and keep an eye on the sky. You never know what you might see.